I'm your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live. And if the content works for you, hit the like button. Bitcoin, can it fly? Can Bitcoin fly on its own? Michael Berry of The Big Short reveals he has, I think, billions in stock market puts, betting the farm essentially on a huge drop in stocks. What will Bitcoin do? Well, we'll talk about that. We will talk about how Bitcoin can indeed fly on its own. It's already started in altcoins today. I think crypto does not have to go down 30, 40%. If equities go down 40%, well, okay, whatever. But if equities are not a 1987 crash, Bitcoin and crypto are going to hold. So let's check who's in the chat here. Okay, Rave Song Records. What's going on? Watching on Twitter. Raj, I'm doing good. How are you? Happy to see you. Okay, Driftless is here. Welcome. Huckleberry Native. Jeff, New Orleans in the house. Silas, AZ. Welcome. Sleepy Guy. Richard Berry. Laughing Dolphin. Being in crypto is like getting a paper cut on the tips of your fingers daily. Yes, Wendy O put out a tweet over the weekend. She says, basically, bless you all who are still here. You will be rewarded. All right. Oh, Iman is here. Love from Vancouver. Appreciate that. Very much appreciate anybody new to the show. And of course, I have deep appreciation for anybody who regularly watches the show. There is no show without you. Okay, let's dive into the news. The most underrated story in crypto: PayPal to roll out hub for select users. This on top of their stablecoin. Okay. Everybody will jump on, I don't know, let's say, Sam Bankman-Fried news or the latest twist or turn in the Coinbase lawsuit. This thing with PayPal's stablecoin, the fact that it's not being received the way Zuckerberg's Libra coin was received, as in Congress hauling him into Washington and telling him, F no. PayPal is going to basically create the next Tether. And as anybody who's read any research about 2017, realistically, mechanically, the way the Bitcoin ramp happened in 2017 was just a massive creation of Tether. Massive. So as Tether gets created, Rudy, what's up? As this gets created, and if it gets created inside some sort of cryptocurrency or stealth exchange, oh my God, right? Oh my God. This is so bullish. I mean, my ex-boss, Charlie Shrem, says this is what makes 250K Bitcoin. This is what does it. Notice the news flow. Visa tests an easier way to make paying gas fees easier. Remember, Visa's got a CryptoPunk on their balance sheet. Okay, these guys, these big players know the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. Let me get over to Twitter. Let me just say something. Let me just put this up on the screen. Okay. So I talked about this in the GLDN Twitter space, and this is a good time to bring together what we're seeing in PayPal, what I'm seeing when I'm working with Toby, and with this guy, Oliver Anthony. Now, you can politically lean to the right. You can politically lean to the left. Megan, what's up? This guy has written the quintessential protest song, talking about the dollar, talking about hourly wage laborers not being able to keep up, taxation, social issues. I mean, this guy went from no Twitter followers to 300,000 Twitter followers overnight. It's following 2 people. Okay. This is the crypto national anthem. This is why crypto is up today. Okay. Richard Barry says that's his favorite song. Okay. Rudy giving Oliver a shout out. Hashtag rebel music. Yeah, man. Crypto is up today because of this. This is my opinion. This is why crypto is up today. And this could change everything, because like in crypto, right? Like here we are on YouTube, you know, Wendy O, BitBoy, you know, we're talking to the crypto masses, right? Whatever piece of the pie we have. This guy's talking to everybody. This guy's talking to everybody. And frankly, it puts the news in a whole different light. Now, switching it to the macro, the ruble is falling. Now, this does make a really good headline. The ruble falling does make Russian-made goods cheaper. Okay. I would imagine this becomes yet another headline to make this unending war where no one wins and soldiers lose more interest, not more interesting, sort of like more news headline-ish to keep it fresh. Okay. Now, if these guys do wind up getting in trouble, it will be interesting to watch the ruble versus Bitcoin. I don't think the ruble versus the dollar means anything, because I think the central bankers in Russia and the central bankers in the West, they have relationships. The geopolitical stuff doesn't apply to central bankers. It doesn't, right? If there's a problem with the dollar versus the ruble, the Fed is going to help the central bank of Russia. It's that simple. Nobody wants a global currency calamity. We've already weaponized the dollar enough. That's my opinion. But watching this versus Bitcoin will be relevant. Will be relevant. Okay. Okay. Bitcoin doesn't do much. Bitcoin not doing much is now basically a news item, right? I think people have officially given up and have started to create content around the fact that Bitcoin is dead. Bitcoin is not moving. It's become like a news item, as it seems here, right? ETF hopes the SEC is just going to kick that can down the road. Okay. Rudy giving me some love, hit the like button. Let's keep that stream moving, right? For anybody who's here, and, Pepe, which we'll go over the chart later, altcoins, I think, are moving out of boredom. They're moving out of boredom, and just because no one owns them, Hedera probably is one of the better examples. Now, the Fed did include a Hedera app drop as a service provider for micropayments. Very interesting that, Fed now may be the new venture capital decider of who wins and who loses. Everybody's always looking for, this venture capital company invested in such and such a project. Yeah, that may not matter anymore. It may be PayPal and the Fed now, which is pretty funny because everybody thinks Fed now is the enemy. I'm sure that's everybody except people holding Hedera, right? So, they have really no intention of approving the Bitcoin ETF until it becomes politically advantageous for them to do so. Okay. In other words, we've already got, Trump being reported as holding Bitcoin, right? Well, which of course he is, because he did his NFT collection. So of course he does. Right. But we're also seeing that congressmen, right, bipartisan support for crypto is growing because nobody wants to be left out. Now, speaking of nobody being left out, This is another, this I think is another monster waiting to possibly ignite the sector. Okay. Seriously. This friend doc tech thing where you can actually start somehow monetizing, okay, or creating markets for people. You know, it's the equivalent of, it's like a social Yelp. It's a social Yelp, right? In other words, instead of, you know, followers or having to wait for Twitter or somebody that will allow you to monetize what you're doing, okay, Friend.tech is built by a crypto OG. And it's really, the project went viral, and it was one of the first forays into decentralized social media. I mean, there was, anybody remember, there was Audius for music. Remember this? Theta for video. Somebody is going to figure out how to monetize this. MetaMask, one-click crypto. One click. You know, you can see the US banking system, the US corporate system getting ready for the day when the dollar has a problem. I mean, that protest song goes back to, I think, if you Google it, the music protest festival Woodstock from back in the Vietnam era. It's just this signature music event that changed everybody's mind about social issues. That guy could I think, single-handedly create a revolution. Meanwhile, is it just me, or does every day that goes by, the SEC seems less scary? That they have less power? That they're just like grasping at straws when, you know, Visa, ARC, it's Kathy Wood, PayPal. I mean, it's happening all around them, and they're trying to stop it through the legal system, and I don't think they can. Bull Runner is here. Welcome. Now, again, another massive catalyst. Base. In other words, this can become like the Uniswap of this era. I've never been the biggest fan of layer twos, right? I mean, people like to talk about them. And, you know, I know that, you know, Matic has the most phenomenal marketing department. You know, corporations using Matic to, you know, effectively do gasless NFT projects. But Base could change everything. And wouldn't it be funny while Coinbase brawls it out with the SEC? Meanwhile, these guys do what WorldCoin did and just slip, this is a positive crypto agenda, right underneath everyone's nose. Like, the news flow is ridiculously bullish. And I don't think people realize it. SoFi has 166 million in crypto holdings. Let me ask you something. Like, I know I gotta find the Big Short tweet. Because I know it's happened, and I just want to, I'll put this up here, but so this is the guy from the Big Short, right? And, you know, as of whatever portfolio update he did up to June 30th, that the guy has 51% of his worth in puts and 42% in NASDAQ puts. Okay. Megan wants to sing that song, right? I don't blame you. Wrong Again says, I minted an NFT on Base. It still has work to do. Okay. Robert did the same thing. If they get that right, it's an upside catalyst for crypto. It's a nice headline. Now, you know, Michael Berry updates his portfolio. I saw something from over the weekend where Fidelity doesn't see a need for alarm for a period of years in stocks. So what would happen if Michael Burry was right and you had another massive decline in stocks? I think you would get a 10% flash crash in Bitcoin and it would come screaming back. Like basically all the work that I'm doing, that we're doing here with Unhinged, we're not seeing this leading to a crash in crypto. Now, it's not going to lead to upside in things like Ethereum, unfortunately, right? Even though Ethereum's got a nice diamond formation, which we'll look at. Let me give Unusual Whales a little like and a retweet. They're after stocks. Everyone knows, that this is the problem. And as I said on the GLDN Twitter space, okay, if stocks do not go down as much as they probably should, then it's going to be reflected in crypto upside. I know there's an eclipse coming in October. I know this is going to be pretty ugly, right? Or something. Let me say that again. Something big is going to happen. Something. Now, Michael Berry's betting stocks down. I don't blame him. Okay, but I would suggest that if stocks don't go down, crypto can go up a lot more than anyone thinks. Pancakes and peanut butter in the house. Welcome. Okay, let's go to PowerPoint quick. Altcoin overtime is back, also known as crypto happy hour, which anybody from the TV days early on, we used to have crypto happy hour, okay, and we used to have crypto therapy. We're actually bringing both of them back. This is crypto happy hour on Fridays, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. It's essentially a podcast with me and Toby talking about altcoins, right? Where, you can come and ask questions about your altcoins and we'll do our best to answer. Obviously, if you're just purely chart driven, feel free to ask here or come tune in Friday night for a stream that was actually well received. Altcoin overtime. All right. So I don't want to forget Rudy. Rudy is talking Jasmine. I'm just going to go to that and share that screen because Rudy is definitely supporting the channel, telling everybody to hit the like button. So an appreciation for Rudy and all the people here. Okay, let's take a look at Jasmine. So let's do some hidden pivot analysis to see what they could do or what they've done in Jasmine. Not sharing screen. Okay, so here's Jasmine on an 89-minute chart. Okay, so Jasmine is right at a key. I'm taking the zeros out. It's 41.14. Crypto could be 2 weeks away from some sort of bottom. The only question is how to stay out of the way of either total boredom and get caught sleeping and miss something, which I think is a risk in Bitcoin, or get caught in another bond market downdraft. Okay. So just wanted to get that out there. Definitely want to prioritize anybody who's helping me because I want to help you because that's what that show is all about. Altcoin overtime Friday. Now, ETH. Oh, God. You've got this hugely bullish formation, which they cannot break out of. They just cannot. And I don't know why ETH is stuck, but it is. Okay, so if we just say ETH is stuck and pinned below 1900, probably for the next 2 weeks, maybe we can just live with it. But I do think at some point ETH is going to creep up and break out of this diamond formation. Okay, Rudy with the super chat. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that very much. Right. Oh, Rudy's looking for the DeMark on Jasmine. All right, let me go to DeMark, right? And we can actually do DeMark on a couple different things. We can do it on Bitcoin. We'll just interrupt the PowerPoint and do it all while we're here. So Ethereum, as you can see, this on a 90-minute chart just looks like a giant base, right? It's just winding up to do something, and we're going to have to tolerate it doing nothing, unfortunately, right? Bitcoin on a 90-minute chart, much of the same, although I am interested in the daily chart of Bitcoin, right? This is a 10, so you could have maybe 2 or 3 more kind of slumpish days. You're going to have a 13 bottom at some point in Bitcoin. That's going to be interesting. Okay, now let me put Jasmine in for the super chat. Okay. So on a daily chart, the good news is, right, it's headed for a 9 top, at which point you'll get some information. So here there was the 13 top. It went down, but didn't crash. So here's what you're looking for. You're looking for tomorrow should be a top. And the next dip will tell you a lot, right? So you don't want a failed rally tomorrow or the next day. So if it can hang in, you're good. You're good, right? You could actually start a broader trend kind of the way you did here. In other words, this may be the most optimistic scenario for Jasmine, where it was in March, it went up, it hung out, and then it just eventually continued this way. That would be the best case scenario. Honestly, when you look at it this way, Hedera, all these coins, they all look like this. Down, and it just sits there. And it's okay if it just sits there, especially at this time of year in August. Every day that crypto does not go down, or every day that the bond market does not create a decline in crypto, is a good day in crypto. Honestly. Okay. Megan is absolutely right. Okay. Considering the issues over the past couple years, BTC has held its own. Politics, SEC, inflation. That's why she is the king. That's why she is the king. I like that. Or she is the queen. Sorry. All right. Taking a look at gold. Philip, I appreciate you, man. All right. Let's take a look at gold. And nobody can understand, undoubtedly, why gold is going down. And I'm going to give you a reason that you may or may not believe. So first of all, gold is going down. This is GLD. This is the DeMark work. I mean, I don't know if it gets any clearer than this, right? Here you had a 13 and a 9 bottom, up, 9 top. Kind of crazy here, but down, 9 bottom. And then, they're testing 1760. I think Chinese banks are selling gold. I think that's why gold's lower. That and the fact that the bond market's been getting, interest rates have been rising. Right. But I think somebody out there is raising capital selling gold, and I think it's the Chinese. That's just a crazy theory, because there's no reason to be selling gold. If anything, it's time for gold and Bitcoin. Because if Michael Burry is right and has a whole bunch of puts in stocks, and, these guys expect a huge down move, I'm sure Dalio's right there with him. These guys never really do these things in solitude. Gold should be a buy. So should Bitcoin. Okay. Megan with the super chat. Whenever you do podcast or presidential nomination, you'll be supported. Megan, hats off to you. Very sincerely appreciate that. Very sincerely appreciate everybody on the show. All right. Now I'm going to go back to PowerPoint. Okay. So ETH, giant diamond formation, MicroStrategy. Okay. This is what a diamond can do, right? You get this diamond formation, and then they break out at the top, and this thing doesn't even want to retrace to 345. And unless something terrible happens to equities, I don't know why it would. I just, call me stupid. Like, yes, it would be good to buy MicroStrategy at 345. It would be. If you want to wait, I don't know if I would blame you. But what is the rationale to be negative Bitcoin? Like, Bitcoin went to 28K when the bond market was crashing. There may be another puke in bonds, but this just with this guy with this song, right? It's just more and more and more. I just get convicted that these people who are calling for 10, 30, I mean, can you imagine if Bitcoin went to 80K, how many people would feel stupid calling for a 30% down move when Bitcoin was at 30? When the crypto national anthem has been written without using the word crypto. The crypto national anthem has been written. Somebody finally did it. That guy did. And the case to sell this is what? I mean, 345, if it went down there, it would be Christmas. You know, I'm looking at this Coinbase chart. Now, Coinbase, admittedly, you know, this looks like they ran out all the stops. They pushed through this resistance. Now, I don't know what Coinbase is doing, but sometimes what markets do is they'll go below a point and they'll make you think it's no good. And then if it comes back above 83.50, that's a good thing for Coinbase. However, if Coinbase can't hold 83 or can't get going here, that would be not the best sign. Okay, but I think Coinbase is going to beat the government, period, end of story. Wrong Again is asking, is the government suppressing the Bitcoin price? Well, clearly somebody is selling it. Okay. So we have Rudy wants to be my vice president, no problem. And Megan wants to run the SEC. If I was president of the United States, done. Believe it or not, I actually think I could do the job. I could do the job. I really believe that. I mean, Ronald Reagan did the job based on communication, right? He did it on communication and basic economics. So, you know, I would love to pencil myself in maybe after the next cycle. Maybe after the next cycle. Okay, back to PowerPoint. XRP. Okay, so XRP, we have probably a lot of disappointment, right? This whole case for XRP was like, we're going to fight the government. You know, XRP, you know, down with Gensler. Okay, Gensler loses. He appeals. One judge likes it. One judge doesn't. And really, at the end of the day, it's about what can XRP do, right? If there's a partnership with FedNow or a partnership with somebody, I just think the XRP army is going to be disappointed because most likely to make this token go up, they're going to have to partner with somebody in legacy or banking. Or XRP Ledger is going to have to take off, which would be preferable. Right? If they can get XRP Ledger going, this token is undervalued. Okay? And Wrong Again is the Treasury Secretary, and he will burn the money printer in public. Jeff wants to fire the government. People are pumped up, man. You got to go to my Twitter, or you got to, you know, you just got to find Oliver, and you got to listen to this song, man. It's tough to listen without crying, especially since I'm organically patriotic. It's really hard to listen to. Like when I was a kid in the 70s, waiting in line for gasoline because of the oil embargo, I didn't understand why we were sitting in the car in February with the engine off. I didn't understand it. Right? I just thought the 70s were so horrible. I was like, thank God we'll never see that shit again. And we did. And then some. So we're at the epicenter of the solution for this. Nothing ever changes without the protest movement. Nothing. And the ultimate protest movement is crypto market cap. Now, S&P. So we have a 9 bottom in SPY, hence the rally today. Stocks never need an excuse to rally. All they need is for bonds to stop going down. Okay. Megan's bag is her XRP is now past Bitcoin. Okay. We have a 9 bottom in S&P and they are ticking up. So beware the failed rally in equities. Okay. A lot of people want to buy the dip in some of these beat up tech stocks. I totally get it. You had the 9 top, then you had the 9 bottom. Support's good. Great. Just beware the failed rally. Just beware the failed rally in equities. You know, there is a saying in August, it's don't short the quiet market. Okay. So, you know, If the bond market continues to fall apart, equities will not be able to hold up. But if the bond market takes a 2-week vacation, stability in equities will probably ensue. And if there's going to be a problem in equities, it'll be on Labor Day in Rectember. Because the 29 and 87 crashes, the top was on Labor Day. Right. In the meantime, I think people are just going to buy Bitcoin. Like, my attitude is this could go up, maybe. And Michael Burry could be right. I can make you a case. Solar eclipse coming up for a crash. My attitude is carry me out, prove me wrong. Especially with these guys who think Bitcoin's going down 30%. Can there be a flash crash in Bitcoin for 10%? Yeah. Right. Is it disappointing Ethereum's not rally? Could you have people give up and blow all the stops out on the downside? Yeah. Is that a screaming, raging buy? Well, if you don't believe me, go listen to that song. Okay. Pepe. Okay. The market boredom index, right? Pepe retraced 62% of like the post Binance listing rally, ran all the stops for days, and then came back. This is like so typical, so classic. The market's going to find a new form of money, folks. They are. It could be the Friends ecosystem. It could be Pepe. It could be Unibot. Unibot was the winner of altcoin overtime. Toby's a big fan. So is Eagle King. Supposedly there was like large buyers in this, and I'm hearing that there's large buyers in Reddit's cryptocurrencies. It's funny how these themes, they just keep sort of perking up. Right? This, I believe, is Telegram's token. Okay, back to Bitcoin versus the ruble. So, where can you vote thumbs down on fiat? Well, in the crypto market. Now, most likely everybody in Russia who is sophisticated enough to own Bitcoin, okay, has probably already left Russia. So I don't want to go with this narrative that was out there like everybody in Russia is going to buy Bitcoin because the ruble is going to collapse. That was the thing when the war started, and the Central Bank of Russia actually made all these moves to strengthen the ruble to make it look like there was nothing wrong. Now, there still may be nothing wrong. I don't really know. Okay. But, the ruble weakening versus the dollar is hyperbole for the news. The ruble weakening versus Bitcoin, okay, that becomes very relevant. Yeah, I know Bitcoin's largely traded versus the dollar, but I'm way more interested in the value of the ruble versus Bitcoin. Okay. Wrong again says, my opinion, stay out of the casino. Bitcoin and Ethereum will have their day. Let's talk about that. Okay. They don't. Wrong again says they don't have free flow of information in Russia. You're right. They don't. People do two things before big trends. They either give up or they get bored. Right? Obviously, the sort of rich men from Richmond fight song should keep you from giving up. Now, whether you get bored, you wind up in meme coins, you wind up losing money. I think the market is looking for new forms of money. I think the market is also looking to take your money right before this thing starts moving. In other words, if Bitcoin is at 28 or 29, people are bored. But then what will start happening is Bitcoin may start this, right? It may start this 29, 30, 31. And then the next thing you know, it's the last week in August and Bitcoin is pressing 32 slowly. And everybody goes, well, I'll buy the dip back to 28. And there is no dip back to 28. No, as I can see Bitcoin moving higher, then having a big dip off, say, a stock market problem, and then there being just a total floor underneath it. So it's not the moon, but you can get your head screwed up here. You can get your head screwed up, and I'm more in favor of being involved than not involved, right? July was the month to sit out for P&L destruction. August was the month to get involved to say, I mean, look at Michael Burry, right? I mean, that guy's holding puts in the summer. Like, who does that? That's pretty bold, right? Of course, assuming he still has the position. Remember, that was reported as of the end of June. So get involved. And if you can win, if you can make it, haven't you learned something? Haven't you learned that whatever is in that song is in the market? Okay. Brick Dreams watching on Twitter. We appreciate that. Okay. Bull Runner in the house. All right, folks. I'm going to keep it short and sweet today. Listen to rich men from Richmond, and then tell me Bitcoin's not going up. We'll see you on Thursday.